My mind began to race. How did he know about the car lock? It's gotta be hard having a condition that makes you hypersocial but also generally unlikable. I got along with him fine though, because autism means I can get over that stuff pretty easy. Sounds about right, Levi. Was he threatening to eat me? High-functioning autism's weird because even genuine schizophrenics feel comfortable around me for some reason. It's a bit like animal magnetism, but for the mentally ill. Interesting, Levi. That's cool. I noticed my breathing remained calm despite the panic in my head. I didn't say notice, I just say my breath. My breath remained calm despite the panic in my head. This is where we get down to here when we're talking about this. Calm despite the panic in my head. I was suffocating, but the breaths just wouldn't come. I shall not waver. The test of the ancestor. I will prove my worth to the ancestors. Don't criticize those who like 50 Shades of Grey. Most of the world is idiotic. Religion and various cultures dominate people's thinking. And I think see 50 Shades of Grey is kind of relief that is a frustrated mass of people can identify with. Well, that's the difference, Dreamy Bloody, between picking a topic that resonates with people and something people want to read and being a good writer. Just because you can pick a good topic that people want to read doesn't make you a good writer. That makes you like a good marketer. And at the end of the day, marketing outbeats your writing skill, right? So, sex sells. It's the reason why all of my books that are, my bondage books sold more than 50 copies. And read more than 250 pages. Do you mean the Kucha? So I just have to like figure out how. This is already looking really good. Oh, thanks, Ram. I'm really trying here. How do you know about the Kucha? I already said Kucha. Something like... Not gonna offer advice, just support today. You got this. Alright, Ram. See the fruits of your labor of yesterday. You can't scare me with my own creation. You may be a demon of my mind, but you don't control me. Goal, tactic, resolution, or like conflict, and then next goal? Expectation. Okay, that's what it was. Goal, obstacle, tactic, expectation. Yeah. So what is the goal when your main character says, do you mean the Kucha? The goal in saying that is to confirm that the demon is, like, I'm speaking to my own mind, you know? Just to make sure that when he's talking, that when the voice is talking about the car lock, that the car lock is connected to the Kucha. And then I'm thinking about what the car lock is, and then I'm like, you can't scare me. Well, I'm confused. What's the second goal if the first goal is to connect the car lock to the Kucha? That's what this is. That's this guy. He's responding to it. So it says, like, so the goal is to, like, to get out of sleep paralysis, right? The tactic is to jolt. I'm saying don't mix the question with the you can't scare me. So move this and just have you maybe a demon, but you don't control me. Goal is answered before the next goal is raised. See how much simpler that is? I guess that's true, Ram. How does the demon answer him? I want to do something like Great Spirit. Are there any other tribes that worship you? But is that just too obscure as to just say, yeah, it's my tribe? As opposed to having the subtext of, are there any other tribes that worship you? I feel like... And this is almost like the character asking the spirit if its attention is being divided between multiple tribes. Maybe the Kucha have a great enemy tribe, and they have different religions, and maybe this great spirit is both of their religions. So there's some sort of... I'm confused as to who is speaking. It's the tribesman, the chieftain. But I, as the person, think that it's the demon sitting on my chest. But we haven't revealed that it's not sleep paralysis yet. So I think I'm talking to a demon, and the chieftain thinks he's talking to his great spirit. And there's this miscommunication of scripts across our... like, perspectives. But there's been no confirmation as of yet who each person is. So you're saying that, like, the subtext of this isn't good enough? And I feel like this should say something more like, what are you, the Kucha? Kind of like with like a laugh. You know? Subtext sucks on first draft. Be obvious first. Alright, I get it. I get it. That's the ancestor's voice, like the chieftain's voice. It's a continuation of this, but in between this are my thoughts. And so he's speaking to the ancestors. Oh, great spirit of the ancestors, I welcome you upon the journey through the Carlock. I shall not waver. I will prove my worth to the ancestors. So just kind of... Chieftain's voice spoke, I am Batman. But we don't know it's the chieftain's voice. We think it's the demon's. We don't want to solidify anything yet until he says who he is. Say who the MC thinks the voice is. You have pre-made subtext sequences. Shapes, I mean it. I delete the rough draft lines, and now you have subtext. So there's no point in doing subtext early. On edit phase, that's when you see what should be subtext and what should be obvious. Okay. I'm the Kucha Chieftain, protector, provider for my people. Okay, so the goal's been fulfilled, right? Because we wanted to know who we're talking to. And I'm just wondering, should I name him or not? That doesn't work at all, Ram. Great Chieftain, I pleaded, please release me. I have a family, a son, 2 daughters. I didn't, but lying never hurt anyone. It's an example of being in the moment. Okay, well, if I'm the chieftain, and I think the Great Spirit is testing me. So now I have to prove to the Great Spirit, at least in a small capacity, that I'm worthy. So my body takes a large, deep breath through my nose, and this is where the spices and the smells and the aromas of like a banquet and like cooking and everything like that comes into play. And then the sneeze. And then in order to show that the character is like in the moment of the ritual, it refuses to sneeze, and that's when the song starts to play. Because he's using the song to separate his mind from his body now that the spirit has come into him. So that's what I want to happen right now. Or it's more for, I feel that's what should happen right now. Because I'm like, there are two ways to go. You start with the hymn, and then you go into explaining the ritual, or we go with the chieftain trying to prove something to the spirit without realizing that I'm not the Great Spirit. True, Smokey! So which one do you think would fit the story better, Ram? Going into explaining the ritual, or having the chieftain show that he is strong? This one. Oh, that's a good one, Smokey. I like that one. True. Okay, so let's just go down here a little bit and just say it starts from there. Ooh. Okay, we're gonna start like this. We're gonna say. The breath escaped my lungs. In through my nose, deep, full. In through my nose, filling my lungs. A deep, forced breath through my nose. The wonder of it overwhelming. Hickory, basil, onion, tomato. Warm smoke carrying vivid aromas. Please try not to avoid the I in your sentences. No one cares that it doesn't sound like writing. Clarity is king. And that one spice that always tickles. Weaving its way through your nostril into the back of your throat.
You are in for it now, sweetheart. Take those sexy glasses off like a good girl. You don't need to see what happens next.
True. I changed the tense, but I blame Smokey for that. God damn it, Smokey. I love you too, man. But come on. You can't do anything more original?
I miss my sexy librarian. You can put those sweet sight setters back in place, slut.
Bald! You're bald. Are you bald, Smokey? The imposter that me seeks. I'm not bald. Okay. Good to know, Smokey. No. Or I could just say took a deep breath through my nose. It made me have to sneeze. Smelled like someone was making some damn good food out there. Although despite having to sneeze, the urge is not fulfilled. And then it's like a hymn begins. No, the chieftain begins to hum. It's the Charlock Ixiom. A meditation rite used to separate body and mind. Okay, I think this should go the other way around, though. The smells are what's causing me... Okay, Smokey, if it's a Rickroll, I'm banning you, Smokey. Okay? Just to let you know, if it's a Rickroll, I'm banning you. Fine, it's not. Very much needed, Smokey. Very much fucking needed. It's pretty damn solid. Goodbye, cruel chat. I'll see you again. Fuck you, Smokey. Have a good night, good sir. Take care. Okay. I lied. Damn, I never thought you would ever lie, Smokey. How could you lie to me, you bastard? How could you lie?
I am still here, you are still queer.
I mean, it's true. It's the way it is, Ming. You just gotta do what you gotta do. I developed this as a... I developed this hymn, or I developed this technique. I created this technique.
Just know that when I die, there will be no more shenanigans.
No, Smokey, that'll never. No, that's not fair. You're not allowed to die. Never.
May we all fall down.
I created this chant.
I will quote you.
Those who master it can undergo I created this chant, and whoever could master it would be seen blessed in the eyes of the ancestors. But now this man sees me as a spirit of the ancestors. And then he opens his eyes, and I'm like, okay, I'm not sleeping. Something's like, this is a fucked up dream. I don't know what the hell is going on here. But this ain't right. Ram! True, Callie. I created this chant. Those who could master it. Those who could master it were seen.
Okay, bye CYA, have fun.
Yeah, will do, Smokey. Thanks. Fuck you. Have a good night. Again.
You mean that?
If you could, yes, I know. If you could master
I
it.
appreciate it.
If you could master it, you could separate body and soul. If you could master it, you could separate mind from body. A deep meditation, almost like an eternal, almost like a coma. Almost a self-induced, almost like a self-induced coma. And then I want to kind of use this to facilitate, like, what happens next. Where it's like the character opens their eyes to show the great spirits, you know, the wealth of their village, essentially. So I wanted to say something like, take hold if you see through my eyes the sights that, you know, essentially I've created. Great Spirit. See all that I have prepared for you. I opened my eyes. Was a moonless night. It's a moonless night. I stared into the stars. A mess of constellations I didn't recognize. Flames flickered in my peripheral vision. And then that would be the transitional sentence to me moving my head down and staring around and seeing all of the people. Yeah, I don't think any of this is useful at all. Okay. My head tilted down and glanced around. And it's like, it's pretty much every movement that and everything that the chieftain does is part of the ritual. So him opening his eyes at this point is like an important part of the ritual, and him looking around, and the villagers should all be there, like, staring at him, basically waiting for him to open his eyes. And as soon as he opens his eyes, that's when they're like, okay, we can come over. And then they grab all of their little pots and everything and their knives, or the plates and their knives, and they walk over with like a giant platter. Where I look down and I see the platter in front of me, and like my stomach kind of laid across like the entirety of this platter, and it's like shows kind of how fat I am. So maybe I tilt my head down. So let's not even let's just tilt head down and let's look at body. Okay, this is not my body. I almost laugh at how ridiculous this is. My fat form. The folds of my new form. I was a giant tub of fat. Okay, so there's something I want to do here where I like lead on and give like a little bit of information about what the car lock might actually be. Because this is where it's like the explaining of what the car lock is. And I kind of want that to kind of come into play with like the size of my body. And being like, oh, well, of course this is the car lock. Look how fat I am. I'm definitely going to be able to feed all of these people. And it's like, wait, what? Why'd you just... Wait, what? Well, it makes sense now. You can feed everyone with this tub. So maybe we look around and we get stock at the amount of people first. And once we've gotten stock of the amount of people, then I look at my body and go, oh yeah, we're definitely going to be able to feed everyone during the car lock with this. And then that's when it's gonna hit me where I'm like, oh wait. Yo, dude. Like, am I gonna feel this shit? No, man. Okay, no, I'm out. I'm out.
Guys,
this ain't the way it's supposed to be.
There's enough me to go around.
True, Levi. Wow, that's a lot of people, and that's a lot of pots. It's a lot of people and a lot of pots. I look down at myself. Well, would you look at that? I guess there's enough to go around. My fat form bobbing. We're not in Kansas anymore, guys. My fat body just bobbing
Once
there.
upon a time, I slid a door into my thumb. Later I asked a friend of mine to cause me more pain on top of that pain so that I can forget about the car door pain. It only caused more pain. Stop the cycle?
True, Callie. For a second, I'm actually excited what's going to happen. But hey, if I could feel the fact that he needs to sneeze... Am I gonna feel them cutting me up? Absolutely on cue, all the villagers turn towards me. I don't know how to spell. I don't know how you're supposed to spell Q. Is it Q? The one time that it's actually spelt the way it sounds? I try to escape. No, I'm gonna be like, I gotta see the knives and the wood in their hands. So I see. I see what's in their hands. Knives and plates. My overgrown stomach is already placed on a platter. My bulging stomach is placed on a platter. I'm debating whether he should have his eyes open while this is happening or have his eyes closed. I think he should have his eyes open while this is happening to be even more like letting the great spirits watch what's happening. And I want the chieftain to, like, literally not react. Because the whole point of it is that, like, he thinks it's a test by the ancestral spirit to try to get him to flinch. And call it off and escape from it. But he's like, nah, no matter what you say, I ain't gonna stop. So just keep doing what you doing. We gonna get through this together, brah. I was frozen inside of my own body. If this was my first lucid dream, it had better be my last. Have I ever felt pain in my dreams before? I should wake up before. The knife dug into my flesh. The knife is sturdy as my body. Steady as my body. That's what I meant to say. It shouldn't be like that, right? Enough knife dug into my flesh, or is it supposed to be like that? I don't know how that's supposed to work. But either way, it's like a cut-off thought. I don't know how that's supposed to actually punctually be, but whatever. But far from as steady as my mind. The pain was real. But this couldn't be. I tried to pull away, I tried to move. I couldn't. This is my punishment. People always tell me to take care of my characters because you never know if they're real or not. I never believed in that. I don't know. I guess I did now. I think this should be a new paragraph. My mind screamed. Let me out. Let me out. Let me out of here. I don't like this. I don't want to be here. Please just let me wake up. I don't think I was going anywhere. I have to sit through this and endure it. Just like my creations. Okay, I think we need to actually add in the ritual explanation here. Because we've hinted at it, but we haven't actually stated what it is. This... This was the car lock. And these were the Kucha. And I was about to be sliced up, cooked, and then fed to myself. Then the first step of the ritual is to cut. And you find like a nice way or elegant way or interesting way to say like the excess amount of, fat. Like all my extra fat is gonna be cut off, cooked, and then fed to me. All this extra fat on me is gonna get cut off, cooked, and fed to me. Had the lack of consequences led me down this path? Led me to create this ritual. Lack of consequences led me to create this ritual. If this was the car lock and these were the kucha, all of this extra fat is going to be cut off, cooked, and fed to me. And people always tell me to take care of my characters. Maybe I should have taken that advice. And then that's the transition sentence to people always tell me to take care of my characters. So now we know what's going to happen, and it's just how the experience is going to affect me, right? That's the main point that we want to see. Oh!
I am not real mod, I am fraud, whose Todd is a frog chased by the mob.
True, Callie, I believe that. But don't worry. Remember, the first, 100 people in here are probably going to get mod. Anyone who asks can get mod. Until you abuse it, and then you're gone! And you're on a list!
Do you believe anything, sir?
No, I have no thoughts in my head, Callie. It's an empty blank. If you cracked it open, it would be air. It'd be like... tss.
You believe nothing, sir.
Indeed.
Fake American evil smiley face.
True. It knows that that's an evil smiley face? Damn, that's powerful. The TTS is improving, guys. Diabolical. That's what it should be called. It should be called diabolical. I guess this does answer one question, though.
Her limbs are tiny and you look like and act like a skinny Peter Griffin with a Meeseeks obsession.
Oh, thank you, Callie. Oh my god! I'm so glad you would say something like that. You are a true hero. I believe in you. Thanks. Oh my god. You're so kind to me, Callie. I wish I could reciprocate, but sometimes I just feel like I just can't live up to the expectations that you set for me. And I feel bad about myself. But I don't remember I'm a fucking retard and nobody cares, so I just slap myself in the face and move on with my fucking life because I'm not a goddamn pussy bitch ass fuck. True. No, I love you! Yeah, but you can love someone and still want them to be better, Callie. Like, loving someone means that you want to take the toaster out of the bathtub before they turn the water on. That's true love. You care enough to actually make a difference. And that difference generally has consequences, just not the same consequences as not acting. Right? So I saw this TikTok and it's like coming home at the end of a long day to exactly what you need. And it's like a guy walking through his house into the bathroom and it's like you're expecting to see like, you know, a naked chick in the bath and it's a fucking toaster sitting in the bathtub. She's been waiting for me all day, boys. Just another Monday. Oh my god.
Ja 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 ja, I am totes laughing right now.
You never get used to the pain.
Versu funny.
It never fades away. But it does become a part of you. Even as pieces of you are removed. The villagers begin to chant as they walk away with my parts. The smoke thickens as the meat is thrown into the pots. Or should it be this one? Should this one be a new? Villagers begin to chant as they walk away with my parts. Is that a better transition than the smoke thickens? Blessed! What's up, Callie? True. Smoke thickens. As the meat. Scotty, give me bling! I don't know what you mean by bling. There. Bling. Fuck if I know, bro. That's the only way I know how to do it. And beat myself to hell and don't have Seroqual, so I can't sleep. Seroqual. Didn't beat myself to hell. VIP diamond bling. I mean, it's on the other side of the room. I was gonna bring up, you mean my necklace? Like the necklace that I wear? On makeup streams? That's my only bling. Seroqual is right. I don't know, Blessed, what do you think? Is the villagers begin to chant as they walk away with my parts, or the smoke thickens as the meat is thrown into the pots a better transition sentence? Because the next thing that's going to happen is the voice is going to speak to me, and it's going to say... What's before and after? The before is me talking about people cutting parts of me off. Begin to chant is like I've been advised against starting a sentence or act like that. I don't know. It's the rough draft, right? I just gotta get shit down. Well, guys, we have we've like 3 days to fucking get this story done for the contest. So at this point, I'm just kind of like, I just need to fucking write it and submit it and forget about it. Because this is not working. Trying to do this entire thing while I have a deadline for the story... I mean, I think it's great in the fact of, yes, might get it to the store. I don't think we're going to be able to edit it. I think it's just going to be a straight rough draft that's going to wind up being sent out because we run out of time. But that being said, there are only 3 scenes left. Us being fed the food and like force fed, then us dying, and then my spirit being lifted out of the body and the rest of the villagers eating it, right? Why would they carry away your parts if they have a pot? No. I'm sitting in a pot, and there's a ton of other different pots all around me. And basically, each villager family has their own pot, and each villager took a slice of meat from me. And each villager is going to cook that slice and then bring it back and feed it to me. And then each villager is going to feed it to me, and it's basically going to go through my stomach and come out my stomach, and then bleed into this giant pot that I'm in, and then I'm going to be cooked as if I'm like the garlic stand that's put in in the thing. Yeah, it's pretty gross. But hey, it's, you know, you gotta have a piece of the greatest leaders inside of you, and if all of your people have a piece of all of the greatest leaders, all of your people are gonna be amazing, and you're gonna get the better, best leaders, you know? This is just the idea of succession, right? And if the leader fails, then the entire village fails, because then the entire village is tainted with meat of someone who couldn't withstand the ritual. So it's a very, like, nuanced, double-edged sword type of thing, where does the chieftain truly think of his people over himself? And if you can complete this ritual, then the answer to that is yes. Quick opinion, because I don't want to ask a lot of questions. No worry, feel free to ask questions, Blessed. I think we're actually probably just gonna end it here. I think, like, we've made significant progress. Like, we wrote... we wrote, like, this yesterday? And we've written... this today? So, like, I think that's, like, we've had a lot of progress. And I think, like, this is, like... this is about how much more we have to write. So I think if we finish it tomorrow, it gives me more time to think about a structure for it, walk away with your body parts because it's action and movement, and can serve as a pseudo camera pan. But I can already see everything, and the whole point of it is that I can see everything that's happening, and that allows the great spirits to be able to see that they're not being cheated in some way. That they're actually, you know, performing the ritual properly. But I really like the way that it's going. I mean, if you read this shit, and then you read this shit, it's like, it is clearly better. Like, this is just... This is what I need in order to get away from the abstract ridiculousness of my fucking writing style that I don't like. What function do you want the transition to serve? I can hear your confidence. The function for this transition... yeah, we don't need any of this. We can get rid of all of that. So we're just here. The smoke thickens as the meat is thrown into the pots. Clarify is more specifically. This is to show that every single villager took a cut. And then the transition is the smell. And now it's going to be like me smelling it, but I'm like throwing up in my head because I know that it's human meat being cooked that I'm smelling. And it smells so good. And I'm like torn between this, oh my god, it smells so good, and oh my god, not only is that human flesh, but oh my god, that's my own body. Does that make sense, Blessed? Fucking ads. God damn it. Walk away fulfills the function of everyone getting their portion. I'm here. Alright, alright, alright. But I think that's something we would change in the editing. right? Oh. I just think I'm drained, man. I just think I'm drained. Because I have the next part, but I don't really have like the transition for the part after it. So I want to cook and steep and go back and kind of switch gears. Well, I kind of want to go back to the torment, the pain, the struggle, the fucked up that I'm experiencing inside of my own head. Screaming, what about abstract style bothers you? That no one else understands what I'm trying to convey. It's the Samson riddle of the beehive growing out of a lion's carcass. I want the physical and emotional torment of you being cut apart. Every single piece of you being sliced off, one piece at a time, and there's nothing you can do about it. I just don't think I'm good at that. I don't have a grasp of that because I haven't, you know. It's because I freeze, because I think about, for instance, like in this moment, when I think about pain, I think about when I crushed my foot. Well, my deepest pains are the white buffalo that got away and crushing my foot. The most emotional pain I've ever gone through and the most physical pain I've ever gone through. And I just look back on it and I say I just grit my teeth and I fight through it. Because otherwise I would have lost my foot. Maybe you need to connect to losing a loved one? Well, I mean, that comes along with, like, isolationist, right? Like, I don't leave my house, I don't really talk to anyone, I don't really interact with anyone. All my friends are back in BC, right? Like, oh, just kind of a, this is my only social interacting? If you can even call this social interacting? Hermit. Yes, I am a hermit. But the thing that I don't like about my abstract writing is I'm not good enough to portray the ideas. I call it social. Well, I mean, it is in a sense, right? But it's something that I can easily run away from because I can just choose not to talk, I can ban people, and I can just press the stop streaming button and walk away from the PC. So there are a lot of options, but sometimes you just can't, you know, birthday parties, anniversaries, like work events, shit you just can't get away from. I would build the concept abstractly. Well, that's the thing, is like listen to this sentence. Darkness, a faint voice chanting in the distance. Now multiple voices, speaking as one. I cannot understand them. I feel a weight against my body, as if I had inflated. The voice grows in my head. It is revered and tempered, calm and binding. A will of strength I could not fathom. Sharp, stiff, deep inhale, spices, flowers, smoke. The aromas fill my mind. Versus like, Chieftain begins to hum. It's the Karlach Ixiom. I created this chant. If you could master it, you could separate mind from body. Almost like the self-induced coma. Great Spirit, see all that I have prepared for you. I opened my eyes. It was a moonless night. stared into the stars, a mess of constellations I do not recognize. Flames flickered in my peripheral vision. So it's like, this is probably the most abstract sentence of this story. This is probably the least abstract sentence of this story. And it's like, can you see the difference between the two of them? It's pretty fucking significant. Even with the scene that is this scene. I took a deep breath through my nose. It smells like they're making some goddamn good food out there. It made me have to sneeze. Despite having to sneeze, the urge is not filling. Versus like this. So read that versus that, and tell me that this doesn't convey all that this conveys without, like, so many fucking words and bullshit. Of course I know show don't tell, blessed. The one on the right is definitely show, and the one on the left is definitely tell. But does that make the difference? And this is the predicament I'm in my mind, because I have the full picture of the story, so I understand what I'm trying to say, but other people don't. But if no one understands what the fuck I'm saying, then I'm not a good writer. I'm just an abstract thinker. Abstraction is not good writing. It's how you use the abstraction that makes it good writing. And maybe I should learn to show people, or to tell people, before I can learn to show people. I don't know. But what I am going to do when it's completely done is I'm going to take the one on the left, I'm going to run it through Grok, I'm going to take the one on the right, I'm going to run it through Grok, I'm going to give them the exact same parameters, I'm going to say rate this story, and I want to see what Grok thinks of each of them. Because the one on the right is a complete full draft. This is not yet. But we should be able to finish it by tomorrow. So what was it? Is goal, obstacle, tactic, goal? Or is it reaction? Goal? Or you could have, like, tactic, and then there's, like, in brackets, you could have the reaction, the dilemma, the decision, and then a new goal. So you can either have, like, any of these to amp it up, or you don't need them, but you need the goal, the obstacle, the tactic, and then the goal. Goat. Oh, expectation. You're thinking about the story. Whereas I'm talking about real reactions of people. Yeah. How'd you not finish reading in that amount of time? Where the hell is it? There. Dilemma happens naturally, so do reactions. For example, I am a Kucha chieftain dialogue. Is it a natural goal after that to breathe? The reason why it would be a natural goal after that to breathe, Ram, is because it's a proof of concept. A proof of self. Because I'm on a small phone and you are jumping around to different things, and it's your writing, not mine. I guess that's true, Blessed. He's now going to prove to the Great Spirit that he is a Kucha chieftain, and that he knows what he's talking about. And that's why he's talking about, he starts singing the hum of the car lock, and he takes the deep breath in order, he purposefully takes the deep breath to instigate the sneeze, to prove that even without the hymn, he's above the sneeze. Does that carry over to the reader and make sense to the reader? I'm making no judgments, I'm just asking questions. I know, I'm trying to think. You say yes, then it's yes. Well, I don't want to say yes without having an example. Because it's not just a simple yes, it's yes and this is why. I am the Kucha chieftain, protector and provider for my people. So what I think I need here is something that says that he's gonna prove it. So he'll be like, maybe he should say, even without the ixiom, how much we written so far? Beezus? 400 words? We've got 3 scenes left. We gotta feed him the food, we got him to die, and we got his son to eat him. And then show the rest of the villagers eating him too. So not much left to do. Also, dude, I suffer from brain damage and maybe autistic, and it's really hard for me to block out stimuli. That's okay, Blessed. I just, literally take a screenshot and just, read it from the screenshot. So you're talking about it's hard for me to read. Protector and provider for my people. I will prove my... So we need a transition there where he says, I will prove my I'll show how worthy I am to sit upon the throne of the Kucha. In high school, I played music and TV was on just so I could read. Anyways, what's the question again? Looking at the one on the left and the one on the right, which one do you feel has more... Like, okay, the one on the left is telling, the one on the right is showing. But does the showing... Like, if I say... If you read the one on the right, does it give you the same feeling as the one on the left? Because the one on the left is what the feeling that the one on the right should give you. I don't know why I should care about both. Well, at this point, it's not really about that. It's more about... Not about show versus tell. Well, the conversation me and Blessed were having, Ram, was about show versus tell. I know that's not what you're saying, but that's like in my abstract... Like, because I was trying to say... He asked me what I don't like about my abstract writing, and I said, it's not necessarily me that I don't like it, but it's the fact that I'm not good enough to get my abstract writing across to the reader. And if I can't get my abstract writing across to the reader, no one's going to read it, and there's no point in it, so it's bad. So I said, look at this. This is abstract. This is on point. Says I have to sneeze. Says I breathed. That all happens in like 5 or 6 sentences, plus the ability of me not to move, plus the fact that, oh, I'm sitting in a vat of some kind with some sort of liquid in it, and then my eyes open. Seems like you're trying to have it have importance, but I don't know why. The importance of this scene is to show that the guy can't move inside of his own body. That even if he, even in the like, imagine sneezing, but not, like, purposefully holding back from sneezing, right? Like, it's not, you can't do that! So that it's supposed to put this impression inside of you that's like, saying that you should make us care about him so that we appreciate the danger. So try to hide. But I'm like, how am I supposed to get you to appreciate the character when it's just a simple excerpt of a single paragraph with no context? Like, that's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I definitely need to have something here where he's like, I will prove the value of my seat as a chieftain. Something about why his sneeze shouldn't be heard. Inferiority and personality of prose. Real problem is that you have the writer and the chieftain speak at the same time. So something about not wanting to catch their attention. And you sometimes try to use the narrator for both. Yes. But does this work? The narrator should only be the writer. I am dying. So, again, Ram, does this make sense, guys? Guys, does this make sense? So he says, I'll prove the value of my seat as a chieftain. And then the next action that he takes is to prove it. But this is where I realized... I need to explain what the car lock is. I need to explain it. Like, this needs to be like a fucking expedition dump. Like, the car lock is a... The car lock is a succession ritual. For a tribe called the Kucha. Karlach is a succession ritual for a tribe called the Kucha. This ritual is used to prove the worth of the chieftain. The great spirits judge whether he holds himself above his people or not. Great Spirit will judge whether he is worthy or not. He must place his village above himself. Prove my worth as a chieftain would be how I'd word it. I prefer to change paragraph when the speaker changes myself. Nobody gets confused that way. Also, I bet a good book instead of piecemealing from YouTube videos would fill in things which you are missing in your writing skills. Well, the whole point of the reacts is just content, right? That's just to produce content. Writing content. And it's like, it produces the YouTube videos, it makes the notes that I can go back to for future reference, and then it also makes the notes for TikTok for whenever I get my head out of my ass and start fucking doing that. So that kind of has its own multi-purpose that's almost aside from, like, what it sounds like. I like the reacts myself. Book Fox is awesome. Yeah. See, and that's more of a stream thing, right? That's the interactive part of the stream. The writing part of the stream is the least interactive part of the stream. This is the sit back, relax, we've made the content, now we can do what we need to do for off-platform stuff, right? And then throw in some video games if I'm fucking bored, but still want to keep streaming. But I don't really have anything to play right now, because I'm not really even, like, I don't know why, but Monster Hunter Wilds is just not doing it. We need Master Rank. I think they fucked up by adding Master Rank as expansions, because now people don't feel that High Rank is end game anymore. So people think that, like, it's absolutely useless getting anything from High Rank, because we just want Master Rank. So I think they should have just released the game with Master Rank. I think they're going to have to do that with the next one. Because this waiting for Master Rank bullshit, yeah, I'm not having any of it. I don't want to have to... It's like resetting the server, right? if you know that there's going to be another rank that's going to make your gear completely obsolete. That's never been the thing before. It's like your gear was always good. It was just, oh, there's different gear, new ways to do stuff, and maybe some more powerful stuff, but it never made your gear obsolete. This is like wearing fucking low rank gear and high rank, man. It's fucking retarded. Ram, I'm listening to a talk. Cool. So I'm just going to explain 100% exactly what the ritual is, so then people will understand why and the importance of what the chieftain is doing. But I have to explain it in way more detail. Like, I need to explain specifically why the chieftain can't move. Right? If he makes any sound, or even flinches, it will show the spirits that he cares more about himself than his people. How did I word that sentence? If he makes any sound or even flinches, it will show the great spirits. My brain's been fried these past few days when it comes to writing. Beezus, I have like... Okay, I'm going to explain this. I have the worst luck when it comes to shit. And I'm going to explain exactly how I have the worst luck with that shit. So, for 2 months, I've been waiting for a writing contest. I finally got a writing contest. I'm like, okay, I've spent the last 6 months preparing for this. Let's use all the knowledge we've gained in the last 6 months to write this story for this contest. We write... Like, we plan out the idea of the contest. And then my friend comes out from BC. So now I actually have like an IRL responsibility. Go see my friend. And then I finally get to writing the rough draft. And we're like 2 days behind writing the rough draft. Finally get the rough draft done. Okay, it's time to edit. I'm telling you, we should host a writing contest on here and platform it on the Twitter community. I know, I agree with you, Beezus, but I didn't want to do that until I stopped, like, until I've taken my hiatus from work. So I want to kind of do that at the beginning of September, because I've got all this stuff right now. So I got my sister's birthday, I've got my friend who's in here from BC, I've got the writing contest. So, and it just inside of the writing contest, the second we finish the rough draft, Ram comes by and says, hey, if you want to win this contest, you better start doing these things. So we completely restart the rough draft in a complete method we've never studied, never done, have no experience in, and now we have 4 days to complete the story. But you see how it, like, winds up being this domino effect of things where I just need to put my foot down and be like, okay, I understand where you're coming from, but I have this deadline, I have this thing I have to do, and I have all of this stuff, so I'm just going to write this story, and we'll start from scratch with the next story. But I can't fucking do that, because I'm retarded. And so here we are. 4 days away from this, and I'm like, I'm not going to finish this fucking story, or it's going to be worse. It's like, it's going to be better in the fact of its form for its draft. For a first draft, it's going to be significantly better than my original first draft. But if I had taken my first draft and turned it into a final draft, would it be better than this first draft? And I honestly don't know the answer to that question. So that's why I'm doing this. And if this one wins, then we know that Ram is right. The recorded one with Lisa Cron? Bethy Rose! Yo, how's it going? Welcome! He said a talk, but I don't know what talk he's listening to. Block out new ideas. It's hard to do that, Blessed. It's really hard to do that. But I mean, how's you? Good. I'm just describing how things tend to, like, I'll have nothing, and then all of a sudden, like, 8 things will all pop up at once, and I'm like, well, how am I supposed to fucking balance everything around this? It's like you go from, like, 0 to 100, and you're just like, well, I'm stuck here. Also, don't try to perfect. I mean, that's true, Blessed. That's another part of me, right? It's just having some issues with it. It's really unfortunate. You're stressed out, man. It's still 4 days away. That's true, Beezus, but it's like... I just have to sit inside of my mind and just be like, no, you just fucking do it, bitch. Bitch, sit the fuck down, get your shit out of your ass, and fucking do it. Good and finished is better than perfecting and unfinished. Exactly. It's not a lot of time. For a 2,000-word story, that's more than enough time. I know, Beezus. That's the biggest thing, is like, I could literally write this story in less than 8 to 10 hours. But the problem is using this technique now, I'm worried that I'm just holding myself back. But like I said, like, we're like 400 to 500 words away from finishing the story. Like, I can easily finish the story tomorrow. And this is just like, look at the progress we did the first day, look at the progress we did the second day. So we did 10% the first day, and we 50% the second day. So the third day, we're easily going to finish it, plus get into the editing of it, and screwing it around. Why are you worried? I'm worried because I feel like I'm putting more effort into this than I am hanging out with my friend that I haven't seen in 2 years. Does that make sense? It's just the fact of life packing. Yeah, I'm just overwhelmed. There's just too much shit. And I'm pissed that it all had to be at this time where I'm like, the one time I have a deadline for something. Guys, when have I had a deadline for anything in the past? Fucking never. And then all of a sudden I have a deadline and I'm like, why is everything happening? Fuck! Even though, like, I knew that, like, Roxy was coming out sometime, like, this week or next week, I just thought, crossed my fingers, maybe it's the 20th to the 30th. And not, like, the 10th to the 20th. It was the 16th to the 26th. So it was, like, right in the middle. I was like, fuck! But yeah, no. It's not a 10,000-word story. Like, I need to get over that aspect, too, right? And, like, talking about it just kind of helps get it out of my fucking head, right? I've been through these feelings for 3.5 years. Yeah, see, Blessed, that's my problem, is that, like, I've come to such a comfortable point that I'm just, like, even the smallest nudge outside of my comfort zone, I'm like, no, leave me alone. And I know that's bad. I know that's really bad. Ugh. But, you know. Oh, I have been, man. I've been over at my sister's house, fucking playing with the kids. Playing Catan, talking about my stream, talking about you guys, telling everyone how successful and amazing I am, how my writing is going, how successful my writing is, how many stories I've written in the last year, how much I'm pushing myself to hold myself accountable, I'm not procrastinating anymore, and it feels fucking amazing. So it's like, the only thing is this fucking story that has no meaning, no bearing whatsoever. Oh, it's a fucking contest thing. It's the fact of it's something that I've been waiting for and hoping for, and it's finally here, and I can't put like 100% of my effort into it. So that's probably the most frustrating part, is that like I want to be able to put 100% of effort into this, but I know I should be putting 100% of effort into hanging out with my friends. And like this isn't something, like the biggest problem is this is not a story I really want to talk to my friends about. You know? Like going in super in depth about this when there's like 8-year-olds around doesn't work. I could talk about my Final Fantasy story, but I'm not gonna be like, yeah, so I'm writing this story about cannibalistic ritual succession. It just doesn't hit. Oh, absolutely, Blessed. 100%. FOMO is my greatest fucking weakness, and I fall for it every fucking time. I'm so gullible when it comes to that shit. I fucking hate it. That's why I try to be, like I said, I'm not the type of person, but like Blessed, the thing is, this is all deadline. Right? Because if the deadline hits and the story's not ready, that's like my line in the sand. That's like, once you've crossed that barrier, it's out of sight, out of mind. It's gone. Don't worry about it. You can now perfect the story. And like I said, this is the story that if I did this story right, this is the story I want to post on Asmon's subreddit. And if ever there was to be a story that his community would pick up on, for the simple fact of, and I will give this analogy, the bear sex scene in Baldur's Gate. To me, that's what this story is. And what it shows is the scope and willingness of the writers to push the boundaries. And, hey, if you can have sex with a bear, then what else can you do? What even is the Asmongold subreddit that you can post something like this? It's just post anything you fucking want on it. The whole point is that this is a story that shows that the writer isn't a pussy and isn't gonna hold their writing to some DEI or some social standard, right? Could you rework it for another time? Well, that was the whole point, Blessed. And absolutely I could. Like, I could send in the rough draft for the contest and then still continue to work on it, right? It's just, I would like it to be presentable and not a rough draft when it's going to fucking a contest. But I still think it's going to be one of those things where it's just literally thrown out because it's too graphic, it's too much of a fucked up concept. But hey, the contest literally says so delusional, so unhinged, they'll say, what in the what pad? I think this story qualifies for that. And the trope is waking up in your own story. The consequences, you having to live out the consequences that you've created in your own characters. To show that is, and that's also like this double standard show thing here, right? Where it's like, I have to stand up to society with the ideas that I have in my writing, just like this chieftain has to stand up to the pain of himself being eaten. This is about establishing you're breaking free from how you think others think of you. No, Blessed, just the way that people think about how writing should be in society. And that certain things should be censored because people think that even if the audience that I'm trying to reach is a 25 plus audience of mature adults, and I'm taking a idea that is a historic, has ideas in a historical presents. What's the rush? The rush to finish the story is the contest is like over half children demographic wise. See, I don't know about that, Beezus. All I know is it's had extreme gore, but I don't know if like we're not really we're not describing, oh, his intestines were being pulled out. We're just saying, oh no, you have to imagine that what would happen if someone was being cut up to be eaten. That's the difference of the show versus the tell. We're telling them that they're being eaten. We're not showing them that they're being eaten, because if we were showing them they were being eaten, that would be way too graphic. But that's another thing, too. It's like, Beezus, is this contest even worth anything at all? And am I putting way too much into the contest, too, right? It's like, it's just so many things that I'm like, I just don't fucking care. I'm just going to put my 100% into it. And if it's bullshit, it's bullshit. If it's not, it's not. But the whole point of, because Asmongold always says he wants to see people push the boundaries of writing. People that aren't scared of the backlash of some people, that know what their demographic is. People that are willing to write Tropic Thunder again. People that are willing to write Silence of the Lambs. People that are willing to write Saving Private Ryan. Right? People that are willing to write Seven. And I want to show Asmon's community that I am a writer that loves pushing those boundaries and exploring those stories. And why do you need to perform for Asmon? But I'm not, Blessed. I'm saying there is. Oh no, that's why Blessed. Like, this is a 2-3 year thing. Like, I don't even want to do this until I have gone to TwitchCon, and I've already been to TwitchCon and stuff. Right? I'm just saying, like, if I was to ever explode anywhere, I would use this story as a means on Asmongold subreddit in order to, like, be the biggest place for me to be able to promote myself, right? They have a rule about excessive gore and violence that's about removing stories that are meant to shock or disgust the writer. I'm not sure how in detail you get to know if this qualifies there or not. Good, keep it for later. But just because I'm Blessed, what I don't understand is, just because I'm keeping it for later for Asmon doesn't mean I can't use it now. Like, I wrote the original Banquet story as one of the first short stories I wrote, like, last year. Like, what's the date on the Banquet when I wrote it? Oh, it was saved earlier, so it doesn't actually show. But it would be around Young Heroes 4-9, the stage is 5, Sunken Depths. I'd probably say it was around January or February when we wrote it. So you could spend time with your friend? Feeling you need to express your bottled feelings? I just think you're looking too deeply into this, Blessed. That's where I'm starting to get with this. I'm like, because you're like, so you can spend time with your friend. What does that have to do? I can't spend time with her right now because she's sleeping. I can't spend with her during the day because she's with the kids. I only get, like, you know, between, like, 5, like, dinner time onwards, when the kids are already kind of pampered out and they're ready to go to bed. Then I'll head over there, tucker them out for, like, an hour. They'll pass out, and then we can play Catan for, like, 4 hours. And it's not like I'm not giving my 100%. This is more of a feeling. Like, I feel like I'm stretching myself thin, and I'm not performing. Even though I clearly am, because I'm having a really good time. We're hanging out. We've hung out every day. So it's more of a how I feel about it versus the actual reality of it, right? Why do people assume that a writer who writes messed up things is themselves messed up? That's true, Sean. Because people are dumb. And because it's all about how you do it, right? Like, did in writing Silence of the Lambs, do you think that Hannibal Lecter is a great character? No! You think Hannibal Lecter's fucking insane and crazy, but you understand the psychology behind how he got to the way that he is. It was the person who wrote and designed and created the character Hannibal Lecter crazy? And, like, you know, do they want to eat human brains and human meat? Do they want to be a psychopath? No. Same people that write, like, rape and stuff like that. It's like, it's to facilitate a story, and if it's done correctly, because, okay, I think this is a big distinction. There are two things I can separate his work from him. Exactly, Blessed, exactly. There are two separate things. There is the subject matter of the story. The subject matter of the story is self-cannibalism. But the purpose and the message of the story is the preservation of knowledge and the respect of traditions enough to be able to study and understand and pass on those rituals. So the message I'm trying to say is, just because in our modern day we find these rituals fucked up, doesn't mean that the people that performed them at the time don't deserve the respect and admiration of the plight that they went through in order to perform those rituals. Plus, with there being a real cannibal, it really hits home. Yeah, it's playing off of reality in a way that's adding these superficial aspects to it, right? Dramatizing and playing out this, See, but I think, Blessed, I think you're getting the wrong... I'm not looking for an answer. Like, by talking about this, I'm not looking for an answer, and I feel like you're trying to provide an answer. But, like, I'm not looking for one. Does that make sense? Oh, that's why I stopped writing, like, an hour ago. And I said, I just don't have the creativity to continue to write. I feel like I'm falling off. So, I'm gonna take everything back. I'm gonna spend a couple hours of looking over the story and being like, how can I structure it? Because I think that's one of the big things now is with the goat. I need to learn how to structure with the goat. We're just fucking around, Blessed. We're just having a good time. I'm just wasting time hanging out, doing a thing. Talking about, you know, how I feel about the situation that I'm in. And how, like, this... Because this all originally started with the idea of the coincidence that when my life usually runs at 0, and then all of a sudden, when one thing happens, one thing happens, one thing happens, one thing happens. So I was just kind of explaining how I feel about the current situation, and how my life is always like this, in every way, that when one thing pops up, 20 different things pop up, and I always get overwhelmed. I start overthinking things. I start getting into my head about it, and it starts fucking everything up. So I always like to talk to someone about it, but the fact that, like, I don't have anyone around here, I don't have my friends around or anything to talk about it, it's a lot harder to do. So I find this social experience with you guys is a great way of getting that off. And I don't want to be like, I'm putting this on you guys. I just think it's a way of explaining and figuring this out, right? I feel you on that. I've been getting so much writing done, but for some reason I feel like the quality has gone down. Yep. And it's like, there's a certain, there's an acceptable drop-off, right? Like, you're gonna be within a range, let's say, right? Like, I consider above 60% acceptable. I will write 60 to 80% most of the time, and then that odd time will jump up. But it's mainly between that 60 to 80%. When I start feeling like I'm under that 60%, especially if I've just hit 50%, I'm like, okay, now's time to take stock of the reasons why I'm starting to decline in my writing. And then it's like, am I tired? Am I overthinking it? Have I lost the plot? Have I lost the structure? Am I trying to think of too many ideas at once? Right? I honestly can't even tell right now. It's hard to know if it looks better or not as the writer. I could see that, Beezus. And I think that's why it's important to you, for you to show your earlier work. Like what you were doing, Beezus, when you were sending me just like random acts from your story. And it's like now that we're reading back through the story, and I've read like what, act like 6, act 8, act 11, act 13, and act 15 or something like that. Maybe 13, 14, and 15. But now we're reading through the entire story, and I can tell, looking back and remembering those scenes and what we've read before and saying, holy crap, I can tell this is a lot better. And I think that's a good way for motivation to get feedback of saying, even if it's the difference between a rough draft and an edited draft, that's what you should be looking for. You should be looking for the difference of how did I improve that rough draft to the edited draft. As opposed to saying, I'm going to compare this rough draft to this rough draft and this final form to this final form. I think it's better to say, how did I transition from this draft into the final form? And that's an easier thing to study and a more important thing, a higher priority list thing to study. Because editing is the most important part, right? Because that's where everything's going to come together. Ugh. But anyways, I'm getting fucking tired. I don't think I have anything else to say. I think you guys totally understand. So, oh boyo, we will be back again tomorrow. So, as always, guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for coming by. We did some fucking writing. The ASL took up a good portion. Oh, that was another thing I was going to mention, is the fact that the ASL came out. So it's like, on top of all of that, now the ASL's out, and I want to watch the ASL. So that's like 3 hours gone. It's like, why is this all happening at the same fucking time? But anyways, guys, it was a good day today. That's all that matters, right? So, hang in there, keep it up, be yourselves, and remember, if you can't say fuck you to your friends, who can you say fuck you to? Fuck you!